Welcome back to G Fun Facts Online, the channel where we dive deep into the most fascinating corners of science and the natural world. Today, we're venturing into the dense rainforests of Indonesia, not just for the incredible biodiversity, but to listen. To listen to the haunting calls of wild orangutans. Because believe it or not, these calls are rewriting what we thought we knew about the very origins of human language. For years, we've considered certain complex features of language, especially something called recursion, to be uniquely human. Think of recursion, like those Russian nesting dolls, the ability to embed linguistic structures within one another. It's fundamental to how we build complex sentences. But groundbreaking research is now showing us that these gentle, tree-dwelling apes possess a vocal sophistication that seriously challenges this idea. It suggests the roots of complex communication run much, much deeper in our shared evolutionary past than we ever imagined. So what's the big deal about these orangutan calls? Well, scientists, particularly from the University of Warwick, have been studying wild Sumatran orangutans. That's Pongo Abele asterisk for you biology buffs, and they've found something astonishing. Their alarm calls are structured in a remarkably complex, multi-layered way. We're talking about what's known as third-order recursion. Let me break that down. Individual sounds are combined into small sequences. Then, these sequences are grouped into longer, more complex bouts. And finally, these bouts are arranged into extended, rhythmic series. Each layer is nested within the next, creating a hierarchical and rhythmic structure that, until now, we thought was a hallmark of human language alone. To give you a classic example of recursion in human language, think of the children's rhyme. This is the house that Jack built. You can keep adding to it, right? This is the dog that chased the cat, that killed the rat that ate the cheese. Each bit builds on the last, a layered, connected structure. Researchers are finding analogous patterns in the rhythmic alarm calls of female Sumatran orangutans, and these aren't just random noises. Orangutans are smart. They dynamically adjust the rhythm and structure of their calls based on the perceived threat. If a tiger of very real and immediate danger is nearby, their calls become faster, more urgent, and more rhythmically regular. But if the threat is less clear, say a brightly colored cloth that researchers use to simulate something new but not necessarily dangerous, the calls are slower and less regular. This adaptability is huge. It shows they're not just making noise. They're using structured vocalizations to convey specific, meaningful information about their environment and the nature of potential dangers. This discovery is a game changer because it pushes back the potential timeline for when recursive structures in communication might have evolved. It suggests that the cognitive foundations for this kind of complex communication could have already been present in our common ancestors with great apes, millions of years ago. This study of orangutan calls has even spawned a cool new term, Archaeovocology. It's like archaeology, but for vocalizations, giving us a window into how the fundamental building blocks of language might have emerged and evolved. And it's not just Sumatran orangutans. Research into their Bornean cousins, Pongo pygmaeus wormbia, has also contributed. Studies on the long call, that booming call produced by mature male Bornean orangutans, revealed a two-level rhythmic hierarchy. That's second-order recursion. These long calls, which can travel over a kilometer, are primarily used to keep other males away and to attract females. They start with soft grumbles, build up to bark-like pulses or roars, and then end with sighs, all amplified by their cheek pads and laryngeal air sacs. So we have second-order recursion in male Bornean orangutans, and the even more complex third-order recursion in female Sumatran orangutans' alarm calls. This really highlights the sophisticated vocal abilities across different orangutan populations and different types of calls. Archaeovocology helps us explore how these ancient vocal capacities could have laid the groundwork for human language. And it's not just about recursion. Other linguistic elements are popping up too. For instance, research shows orangutans have a surprisingly varied vocal repertoire that can even differ based on geography, hinting at potential cultural variations in their communication. How cool is that? They're also capable of vocal learning and producing novel calls, abilities once thought to be pretty limited or even absent in great apes. There was an orangutan named Rocky, for example, who learned to mimic human-produced sounds, Wookiees they called them, which were not part of the typical orangutan vocal range. This showed incredible control over his vocal folds. Then there's the kiss squeak. This is a voiceless, consonant-like call produced by actions of the lips, tongue, and jaw. Orangutans use these in different combinations to convey varied meanings, much like we humans use consonants. It's thought that their arboreal lifestyle, where they often use their mouths as a fifth hand for manipulating food and tools, might have contributed to their advanced oral neuromotor control, a potential pre-adaptation for the emergence of consonants. All these findings are challenging the traditional view that human language just suddenly leaped into existence, completely separate from the communicative abilities of other primates. Instead, they support a model of gradual evolutionary selection and refinement, where the seeds of language structure began to sprout millions of years ago. Now, it's crucial to understand that while orangutans exhibit these complex vocal structures, their language is still fundamentally different from ours. They have a limited set of foundational units compared to our vast lexicons, but the way they organize these units into layered, rhythmic, and context-dependent calls demonstrates a level of communicative complexity that we've seriously underestimated. The implications here are massive, and they go beyond just understanding language evolution. They underscore the incredible cognitive abilities of orangutans and highlight the urgent, critical need for their conservation. These intelligent great apes, with whom we share about 97% of our DNA, are critically endangered due to habitat loss and other human-induced threats. By studying their complex communication, we not only gain invaluable insights into our own evolutionary journey, but also a much deeper appreciation for these remarkable creatures. We understand better why protecting their forest homes is so important. So this field of archaeovocology, by delving into these ancient echoes within primate calls, is continuing to unravel the intricate tapestry of language evolution. The rhythmic and multi-layered vocalizations of wild orangutans serve as a living link to our distant past. They remind us that meaningful communication can take many forms, and that the roots of our own sophisticated language may lie not just in what is said, but in how it is expressed and structured. As we continue to listen and learn from our primate cousins, who knows what other secrets about the fascinating journey of how language came to be we might uncover. That's all for this episode of Fun Facts Online. Join us next time as we explore another amazing facet of our world. Thanks for listening.